Hi, Ian Roberts and Mastering Composition. So this week we're going to talk about edges. Edges are how you orchestrate how the viewer looks around your painting. It's foundational to the design of your painting. Anyway, this week we're going to paint this image, the last of the 5 photographs I showed you several weeks ago. Now, if you paint in a representational way, the tendency is to overtell, to not leave enough to the imagination of the viewer. So edges have a lot to do with how we do that. You know, if you think of a cartoon with a black line around the whole thing, it's very clear what the thing is and what the thing is not. So in losing edges, the viewer we have to pull them in because they have to fill in. And it's amazing how much actually people do fill in. You give them a few hints and they can fill in a lot. So we're going to look at a few master paintings, 3 master paintings, just to see how they are losing edges. And then we'll go to the demonstration for this week. So Caravaggio has certainly crisp edges here and here where he wants them. But look at the line of the hair. I mean, it's hardly visible. The line of the beard down in there is hardly visible. This just almost gets lost. This we can only just see, and where the cloak is coming down here, it's gone. We don't know where it is. And with Vermeer, he's wanting to pull us to this edge here. And you can see how soft this is. This is the back of the neck completely disappears, the back here. He's releasing our attention from there so that we come forward to where he wants us to look. So look at how he's releasing those edges so that that eye falls back behind the nose, and how soft those edges are so that it moves back into space. This edge here is really completely gone. We can fill it in, but it's pretty much gone. And there's a place right under there where the edge is gone, and like that, how soft it is. But all those things are just forcing our attention to where he wants us to look and releasing our attention from where he doesn't want us to look. In the same idea, I want the attention on him and on the light here. And so I'm going to simplify everything here to kind of work with that. So all this stuff here is going to get simplified and get pushed back. So it's one big dark. And all this stuff here, this is all bleached out now, so I'm just going to put lemons or peaches or something there and get rid of those bags, get rid of that bag, and just simplify it to a figure, 3 sort of things of fruit or something, a big pillar and a big dark. Here's the demo. So I'm just putting in, you know, sometimes I sort of block in things very carefully, shape by shape, but this has a huge area of real darks, and I'm putting the whole thing in as dark. That's, in terms of color, it's a little bit of ivory black sometimes, phthalo green and alizarin sometimes. I'm adding orange and other colors to it, so it's not just one color. But you'll see that I'm just sort of going for the big shapes, trying to find that green. Everything in the background is just going to have little touches of information to sort of bring it alive, but just sort of a color like a clean thing. And then now I'm starting to lose that edge, right? I'm starting to push that dark so that edge sort of disappears back into there. I'm even pushing it away even more. See, I'm practically, you can hardly see it now. Each month I've created for free 4 videos themed around one idea. This month, edges. Next month, abstraction. As well, when you sign up for these themed videos, you will also get, for free, an overview of composition, 4 fundamental principles to create better paintings. You can click up there in the top right to sign up, or go to ianroberts.com. Now, back to the video. But that's the whole thing of just pushing and getting rid of those edges so that it releases it, and you sort of have your attention really get pulled to the parts where you want the viewer to look. So I'm just sort of putting in some of the shadow shapes on the thing. And then these are shadows, right? Those are those 2 white bins. They're shadowed, and then I'm leaving a space there for some light, which we'll get in a minute. And those are just kind of the things with the information on them for the price or whatever. And now you see I'm just sort of putting in some shapes in the background. Not much information, but just a little bit here, a touch there, and you're going to fill in the rest. I mean, I hope. That's the intention, that there's just enough back there to say that there's information there, but you're the one that fills in all the details and says, oh, I see, that's background. Like that's, I think, that figure back there, and I just put them in. Now, this is the hit of sunlight just behind the figure. And, you know, it's really important to kind of give us a sense of, oh, the figure's here, and we're traveling back through space to where that sunlight is, and then the other stuff is there. And you see that little mark I made on the other side of the coat, I thought all of a sudden jogs the figure into like, oh, I see how wide he is. And then there's the sunlight hitting that corner. And then these are lemons or something. I just, you know, I completely simplified that whole thing. So there's just fruit. There's none of those bags and things. But you can see, and then now I'm starting on the face. And I spend quite a bit of time on the face because it's really where I want you to look. So there's just a big shadow shape there, and the shadow side of the little hat, and then that's his t-shirt. And then now some of the light hitting the coat up at the top, the only place it does. Now this is where the light starts bouncing back into it, and we start getting some, you know, some nice little colors going on in there, and it sort of creates more form in that coat. And then we start hitting the lit side, and all of a sudden we start to see what this figure's doing. So here I'm having to sort of, with a smaller brush and the maul stick, you see my hand is resting on that thing there. So you just need to sort of establish the shadow behind the collar and the light on the hat. I'm sure there's a specific name for those hats, but I don't know what it is. And I'll soften that edge between the light and the dark in a moment. I just want to keep the paint clean so I can do the top. And, you know, you start to get a sense of, oh, I see. Then you see that's pure red pretty much for that ear. And then I'm carving back with black to just clean up the shapes, putting some texture back into that big post there of marble or concrete or whatever it is. And I'm softening that edge up at the top to release it up there because I don't want you to look up there. And then you just sort of get a little hit of light along there, a couple of little touches of light, and the whole thing, all that background, everything just kind of gels into one image. And there's the finished painting. And I really like the way all those things sort of disappear into the dark, sort of like an old master painting, so that all those edges and things are just lost. And the things that I want you to look at are coming forward and are being enhanced. Because edges are so fundamental, I've pulled one from one I did last year that I'm going to link so you could watch another one just so you kind of fill it in a little bit more. But try it in your next painting. Just let an edge go. Trust the viewer to fill in something for you. As always, I hope you found the video helpful. I hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you on Tuesday. Bye for now.